welcome to the B Team Podcast. I am your host, Josh Safran, with my co-host,
Matt Mars,
and our permanent guest,
Rob Nelson.
We're here every week to talk to you about all things Bentonville, bourbon, and business. The B Team Podcast. Be here. Welcome to the B Team Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Safran, with my co-host,
Matt Mars,
and our permanent guest.
Yeah. He was supposed to be here and I wasn't. I'm glad that you called me in. Emergency.
He was supposed to be here. We're supposed to film at 3:30.
Yeah.
He calls me at 3:30 and says, I'm 15 minutes late. I said, great. Do you have the whiskey glasses? He says, no, which is why we are drinking out of these. Thank you, Heroes.
Heroes Coffee.
Shout out to Heroes.
They were willing to loan us these. They thought it was a weird request.
Yes.
A shout out to Heroes because I have some right here.
Yes, shout out.
We did buy coffee from them.
We did feel bad. We walked in and these ladies looked at Matt and I like we're two losers. Like, can we borrow a couple of cups? And they're like, huh? I'm like, those back there? They're like, who are these losers? We're like, we just need them for the podcast. Sure.
They gave us cups. We asked for a muffin. They said no. We didn't buy that.
We pushed our luck a bit. We said, yeah, these muffins could come also.
That'd go good with the whiskey.
Yeah.
Speaking of Russ. Oh, and Russ is back, the OG.
Yeah.
It's been forever. Sorry.
Thank you.
We forgot about him.
It's been a minute. It's good to get the gang back together minus one. Where is he? And it has been a minute. I feel like I've shortchanged the group the last few months. We're all busy, but today is getting back in the saddle and let's move this forward, talking about a new bourbon from some owners from Texas.
Well, before we talk Horseneck, I do want to give you some feedback.
Okay.
When we do the podcast and you're not here, Matt and Rob and I try to cobble through it, and we're like, I don't know. What do you taste? I don't know. It's kind of good. And then we get into the creme brulee and the stone fruit, and Matt and I start laughing like 5-year-olds. And one of the last podcasts, they had the ingredients on the back, the tasting notes. So Matt's like, well, if Russ was here, this is what it would say. So we miss you when you're not here. It's not the same.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot, guys.
I mean, with this one, do you smell a little sherry in there?
Why, yes, this is sherry finish. Well played, Matthew.
Yeah.
See, he's becoming like you.
Yes.
So tell us about...
wearing off on you fine gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
I don't know that it's anything good, but...
So tell us about Horseneck and what you know. And again, I'll give you a little bit of background from my perspective. Jen's Place has signed a corporate partnership. Shout out to Darren from Horseneck. And for the Jen's Place opening coming up, they donated a few different bottles for us and said, hey, come taste this one. So I'd love to get some feedback on it and whatever you know about the brand, and then we'll taste. But Matt, yes, a little sherry on it. Good. Glad you caught that note.
It's a little on the nose.
This is my maiden voyage on the brand.
Okay.
But it's interesting on the name, Horseneck. Originally, well over 100 years ago, the Horseneck name was a non-alcoholic drink. It was a tall drink, ginger ale with a lemon twist, non-alcoholic, and then over time it became a cocktail, and with bourbon or brandy with bitters and with that lemon twist. And I know these fine gentlemen that I don't know them, but I know that they do have this in a cocktail can. They do also do canned cocktails. So again, they started.
I think that's where they started, correct? I think they started with the cocktail can.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they morphed into this. It's a Kentucky bourbon aged and distilled in Kentucky. This is a sherry aged finish. It is a straight Kentucky bourbon. So there's no age statement on here by law. We know it's a minimum of 4 years. And then they finish it in sherry barrels from Spain by law. Sherry can only come from Spain. Now, when you do nose this is hard to nose in this, right?
Yes.
This is very difficult. This is hard to do.
I'm gonna see if you pull out some of the tasting notes.
Oh,
I didn't see there were tasting notes on the back. Okay, well,
here we go.
I'm getting just on the nose, and then let me put a little bit here. I am getting orange marmalade. I'm getting licorice. I'm getting a little bit of stone fruit, some peach. I'm getting a lot of dark baking spices like clove and cinnamon, star anise, and I'm getting a lot of that good herbal spice and a little bit of eucalyptus.
So what he's doing, he's throwing out 50 different things, hoping a couple of them stick.
So this is saying it's a bouquet of rye spice, which kind of what you're saying, with toasted oak. And it said it reveals hints of almonds, walnuts, and subtle floral flavors. So pretty much what you said there.
Again, to whoever the blender is and to put that together, because we taste, it's all subjective, right? But this is what I get from the sherry notes. Again, this is late afternoon. They might have blended in the morning. The best time to blend is in the morning before you have the day on you. But this is not bad. 95.
That's pretty good.
It's good. I do like it. I am catching the sherry.
Did you put
I did.
Did it help it or hurt it?
Water. It blossoms for me. It blossoms.
There's more flavor when you hit the water
Now,
there.
I don't know where it is distilled and aged, but I'm going to just ballpark and say that it could be Bardstown or Heaven Hill or Lux Row.
Would it say or no?
No, that just says aged and distilled in Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
I do like it, though. It does have a nice after finish taste.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Well, and this is really good with chocolate because
Yes.
of that cherry influence.
I imagine chocolate-covered cherries with this would be nice.
Now, because of that the toasted oak, you kind of get that sweetness of toasted marshmallow.
This one would also be good, I think, in an old-fashioned. I think this would also taste good there.
Now I want to try their canned cocktails.
Yeah, this is good. So what's interesting is they started sending in samples. We started bringing them in for the Gents Place, and the Gents Place guys are very picky with, I want to drink the Weller. Or this. And so we've gone through a bunch of bottles of this, and everybody seems to like it. So everybody's been a big fan of this brand. I haven't had much of it. This was pretty tasty. It was a good
So
start.
what's the MSRP on this brand here?
I don't know this specific one. The ones that we carry at Gents Place about $50 to $60. So reasonably priced.
I think this could be ballpark on the shelf up to about 65 because of that extra sherry influence, because those sherry barrels are expensive to bring over, and that adds cost. But I'm pleasantly surprised. Again, if I was doing a blind on this as a competition judge, I would give this a high B plus. So I'd give this right at an 88 or an 89. This was, I think for me personally, again, being a judge and being a presenter and an educator, I think personally this needs a little bit more time in oak. But again, I'm interested to try that 9-year and see where that goes.
Yeah.
Again, that 9-year, you think about this so we're in 25. Yeah. So the 9-year was distilled and aged in 16 or 15 or before, which these guys weren't around. They were just on the Bourbon Trail and then they had an idea to start their own brands. And so they're not distilling. They're negotiating, they're buying the barrels and having it distilled and aged for them, and they have a blender in Kentucky. And again, not bad. There's so many of these brands out in the marketplace right now. There's a wash of brands in the marketplace.
Well, that's what I want to talk about today. Normally we do our 7 or 8 minutes with you, and then we'd move on and bring in somebody else. But everybody's been clamoring for you. The Facebook feedback team has been saying, Russ.
Yeah.
And I feel it.
And they moved from Bobby to you.
Well, I mean, you have to be here to get good feedback. But the feedback that I was going to start with you is what you just started talking about, all the brands, because I keep seeing and reading and hearing that the bourbon industry is changing. A lot of smaller mom and pop brands are starting to go out of business. There's a huge bourbon downswing. More allocated stuff is now out there. So there's been a huge shift in the last 3 to 6 months in bourbon in general. And that's what I want to spend time talking about today with you. Like, what's going on?
So the biggest tipping point, just right up here on the tip of the spear, is going to be the uncertainty of the economy and economic environment that we're in right now. So when we saw this in 2007, 2008, kind of the last time that people had that uncertainty of what was going on, this is when people started trading down. So what happens, like I'm just going to say because I represented these brands back then, Johnny Walker is an example. The Johnny Walker drinker is an example on the Scotch category. They want to continue in that space, and they want to be a loyal Johnny Walker consumer. And you can say this about any brand, any category. So they traded that black label drinker traded down to red. And because if you trade out of that category, and say maybe that red drinker traded down to an economy, maybe they never go back to Scotch. Maybe they go to another category, or maybe they go to beer. Maybe they just go way off the reservation. And this is what's going on right now.
So in Matt's case, Matt's going from the Pappy 25 to the Pappy 15. Like he's down trading from the super high end to the less super high end.
And the down trading also is on the secondary market. Like, all the things that I would...
Hold on, please.
All
Hold on.
Secret knock.
He's here.
Hey! He has risen.
What's going on?
Welcome, Bobby.
You're going to come in.
Sorry, Russ. But
It's all right.
since we didn't have anybody bring our glasses today, we were drinking coffee cups that Matt and I stole from Heroes. So we're just going to give you a little pour.
What's up, buddy? You're good.
Good to see you.
Yeah, he always has something to bitch about, doesn't he?
20 minutes late, but here's your little cup. Here's your cup. So anyway, Russ, as you were saying after Rob interrupted you.
So what I'm seeing right now is, here's some stories. So I was in Memphis 3 weeks ago, and I walked into Buster's, which was like big stores up here in Northwest Arkansas. And we've talked about Shanks and Baumburger before. I walked into Buster's in Memphis a couple weeks ago, and they had Shanks and Baumburger on the shelf at the store. I have never seen Baumburger in the
Like
wild.
onesies or like a whole sleeve of them?
They probably had 8 of each, and 1 per customer, at $150.
So first question Matt's going to say is, how come you didn't buy me a bottle? Right?
I was being selfish for myself, and then that same store a couple weeks before, had my buddy Kelly, who I stayed with, one out there. He got some Blandons right at $85, $88 right off the shelf. And so these allocated brands that we've all been going to, that we don't want to buy the secondary market, are starting to appear back in retail. And it's slowly, because again, the down trade that I'm talking about, people are drinking less. Maybe a lot of people, because that bourbon consumer is trading to tequila right now, because especially in Reposado and Añejo, Extra Añejo, because a lot of consumers on the bourbon trade, they've been chasing their allocated brands for 10, 15 years, and they're tired of the chase. That's the biggest thing right there. They're just so tired of, I've been told it's going to come back out. I've been told it's going to come back out. And then, then all of a sudden they go to an event, they go to a party, they hear me speak, and all of a sudden they go, oh, I want to get into tequila. After maybe one of my tequila events, and I talk about bourbon being in a Reposado, Añejo, or Extra Añejo, those are bourbon drinkers' tequilas, because the majority of them are aged in ex-American oak. And so it's easy transition, and the cost is a little bit, so people are watching their dollars, and minding their cents, and they're going to trade down and save a little bit of value, a little bit of money. But the other big thing that's going on in the down trade right now, besides ready to drink, so people are doing RTDs, and maybe they don't want to spend $20 on a bottle of
That means ready to drink, in case you guys didn't pick
That's
that
what
up.
he said.
Yeah.
Ready to drink.
And guess what the big thing is?
Matt thought you were talking about his STDs. He got very confused for a second.
People are trading down. People are also going to gummies.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're going to Delta 8, Delta 9. They're going to hemp. They're going to cannabis. They're going to vape. And Gen Z right now, and the legal drinking age, 21, that consumer group is not drinking right now.
No. And I heard that it may not be true. We heard that they doubled or tripled production, a lot of the bourbon.
Okay, so here's the new.
I do want to ask that. Is the demand down at the same time the supply is coming up?
For sure.
That's that X point, right? That's that X right here. Is what's going on is, so about 15 years ago, there was about 500 million gallons of spirit being just in the United States, 500 million.
All in Matt's closet.
It's at 1.5 billion gallons of whiskey right now. Almost 1.5 billion gallons of whiskey are maturing right now. And we're down. Their production is down right now. But here's upsetting for me, is knowing these brands very well, is George Dickel has paused production. Balcones has paused production. So they're not going to, they paused, they're not mothballing the distilleries, but Balcones in Waco, that's owned by Diageo, but Diageo bought them 3 years ago. They just laid off 17 employees.
So
and George
Dickel
Dickel is not distilling.
So nothing new is being produced to go on the shelves? Like they're out of business right now?
They still have barrels in the warehouses.
Okay.
So their forecast is right now, because of the slide in consumption, is the bean counters, the accountants, the sales and marketing teams have realized that they have enough production to get them into June of next year without basically having empty shelf space.
Well, and it's a hard game if you think about it when you're 10 or 12 years out,
20 years out.
like when you get older stuff, like
Well,
you have it in the pipeline.
And
you're
again,
like,
that's the thing. Here's the other part of that equation. Because people are trading down, they're not drinking, there's more stock available, then that stock that's available that's not being dumped to proof down to go on the bottom to go to the shelves is now there's more whiskey aging. And so for the big consumers out there, especially like myself that likes that big age, for me, that's going to be my sweet spot in 4 or 5 years. Then maybe that 10-year I was waiting on, maybe it's going to be 15, and that really hits my wheelhouse. But again, it's going to go up in price and value. It could go up $20, $25 because of the angel share and all the other variables against the supply and demand, economics 101. So there's that catch-22 that's going on. Interesting. Right now.
Well, and you did mention it. I'm going to give you credit because maybe 18 months ago at a bourbon tasting, you told me bourbon is going to slow and tequila is the next bourbon. I go, get the hell out. You don't know what you're talking about. There's no way that's going to be the case. And you are spot on. You go into the stores now and everybody's looking for the tequila. And I'm starting to drink a lot of the tequila right now, and I'm enjoying it probably more than I'm enjoying the bourbon. But I thought there's no way in hell you were going to be right. And that's actually been what's happening.
Why don't we take that money to Vegas, baby? You know?
I'm going to stick with bourbon.
Yeah. Well,
what about you? Are you doing any tequila?
There's some tequilas that I like, but for the majority, I like bourbon.
But if you said to me right now, let's go to a bar, what do you want to order? Like, I would order a Reposado before I'd order a bourbon. Now, if it was like a really good, particularly if Matt was bringing one of his bottles to drink, I would drink Matt's stash. But otherwise, the Reposados, for me, I'm drinking a ton of those right now. And somebody says to me, they're traveling, and they say, what do you want me to look for? You want me to find you an Eagle Rare Weller? I said, do you have the Fortaleza Reposado? And if you could find that, that's my first ask back.
And I'm picking that up not Saturday, no, I'm picking it up Friday in San Antonio. So I've been through these cycles multiple times in my career, and I've seen this. And it's again, we're gonna get down into that valley, and we're gonna get back up to the peak. It's just gonna be a while.
So Matt, you're suggesting that he buys some of the stuff now at the dip price because it's gonna go back up. Because Matt likes to buy.
Without a doubt.
You like to buy a little bit.
Yeah.
So buy the stuff that's the good stuff now and then hold it and then it's going to go back up? And how down the road?
Well, here's an example. I have a client that was looking for some George T. Stagg Sr. And, I found some. 2 years ago, that Stagg Sr. was $1,600 to $1,700. And I found a bottle the other day, a couple of bottles for $850 each, $950 each. And
how many bottles do you have?
And think about this.
None.
Think about what we're doing with Pappy for our Gensgiving coming.
Shout out
to Gensgiving. How many do we have? About 30 tickets left?
We have only 30 left of the 144. Yeah.
Okay.
I sold 4 today.
Great.
That's why you were late.
Yeah.
Exactly. And what was Pappy a couple years ago?
So the lot
$1,250 to $1,500.
So when you were getting lot B, well, you get
I think it was 500 or 700.
We got that was the 10-year.
That's the
old
rip.
But the lot B, we just got 4 bottles at $750 a bottle.
And 3-4 years ago,
yeah, it was 1,000 as well. Yeah,
it was and so this is
that's good.
This is concerning, but for the loyal consumers that have been looking for their favorite brands for years and years and years, it's a win, especially up here in Northwest Arkansas. In Arkansas, we're kind of a market that has to wait and wait and wait.
But I was going to say the flippers, the people that are buying it, finding it somewhere at MSRP, and then flipping it for 6 or 7x that, we're only getting 2 and 3x
They're
that
not
now.
doing that. That ship is sailed for right now. That's going to be a very rare whiskey that people find that they can flip right now, unless they have 2 or 3 friends that are looking for it. They just kind of want to do the old bait switch with them, which will happen. And I would think so. The projections are right now is this could last into 2030.
Whoa.
And
that goes
again. There's over 3,000 distilleries in America. Over 150 have shuttered this year.
do we need to shut down Bar Nelson? Like this is scary times.
Yeah, like what should we
great
do?
thing
Thing about Bar Nelson just runs on smiles and thank yous.
Smiles. That's a good.
It's
We run on smiles.
Bar Nelson's a club. It doesn't have any stock, so
There's
it
no
doesn't care
overhead.
what the market does.
overhead.
Like everyone brings their own stuff.
If we were
We run on smiles.
we've got to schedule another trip on the Bourbon Trail.
Yeah.
I'll give you, again, I'm going to be up there in 2 weeks on the trail on Friday. So I'll give you guys my thought of what I see when I'm up there in a couple weeks to see what we saw last year and what we can't find this year, or vice versa.
Because we didn't see much last year.
No, we did at Heaven Hill. We did it. We because of the connection here with Rob. We did. He hooked us up at Michter's.
He did hook us up.
Without a doubt.
We need to follow up with them and find out about that the Nelson.
I was hoping you guys
Fort
were going to
Nelson?
get a celebration for gents giving.
I mean, Bobby's follow through at times may not be on par with what I'm hoping would be the case because I have to kind of nudge him to send that email. Yeah.
Of course, we got one. Me and Rob. We probably send you a video in his bar. We've like,
He's got two of them. Yeah. The one for Gents Giving we just couldn't get.
Rob's over there like this.
Yeah. Rob's like,
But for our loyal listeners here in Northwest Arkansas, go out to your favorite package store, your Independence right now, and look in their lockbox. Go say hi to the manager, the owner. Say hi to them. Just don't go in and do the U-turn if you can't find. Because I'm working on I'm always working on new events, and I've got a new one. I'm going to call it Walk by Bourbon event.
call what?
Walk by Bourbon.
Walk by Bourbon.
So you walk by an aisle at a liquor store, and you've walked by that brand for 100 times because maybe you haven't consumed it since college. And I'm calling it Walk by Bourbon, and I'm going to put this in a lineup as a brown bag, and to see what people like. I'm going to put like a Walk by Bourbon would be.
Was that when you put that mellow corn shit in here that time?
You got to give me.
That was like under the
All right,
bridge.
so
I'll take a hit.
I'm going to throw something out there. Last night, I tasted as bottled and bonded Members Mark, Walmart's brand or Sam's, whatever it is.
Is that Sazerac?
It was delicious.
Did you get it at Jane?
A buddy brought it over.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I think that's 1792.
So that's what is that? That's,
Yeah, I think you did say
that is Sazerac. Yeah.
Sazerac. It was.
Yeah, Sazerac does 1792.
Did your friend tell you what the cost was?
It was fairly inexpensive.
So it's like $20 to 25.
Stand by. I'll text them and find out.
So here's the thing: is I'm a big advocate for legacy brands. We talk about this at Ignacium. I always tell people all the time: go back and try Wild Turkey 101. Know with confidence that Wild Turkey 101 for $25 a bottle has 6 to 8 year old bourbon in there.
Do you like Wild Turkey?
Well, at our fishing cabin in Wyoming, that's all we use for old fashions because we just get a big 175.
Yeah.
The other good one, if you're talking money wise, is Early Times. Bottled and bond.
The
for
$15?
$15.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites for a cheap.
I agree. It's very tasty. Yeah. Shocking.
I believe Sazerac owns that brand now.
Well, they do. Interesting.
Yeah. And so this is something that I've been again, I remember that conversation we had 18 months ago. Because I try to stay in tune with what's going on in the marketplace. Just not here in Northwest Arkansas, but around the United States. And also what's really disturbing is what's going on with
$28
whiskey. Okay, that's a good value.
For $7.50.
Yeah.
That's a great
$28.
great value.
And it's over 4 years, right? Because bottled and bond.
Yeah, 4 years plus.
Yeah. And
Minimum
you know how I like the Midnight Dram? It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. It had the little spiciness into it. Like it was like a nice Christmas bourbon. It was,
But 28 instead of 200.
exactly.
See, Bobby and I are value shoppers.
But
What you want to be.
yeah,
We'll have to ask Lisa if they're making that for Members Mark. I'll have to ask her that. Sounds
I
right.
believe it is.
I think-
I'm pretty sure they have that relationship. But I think if we'd had this conversation, if we'd wind this back a year ago, everyone would think that what we're talking about is just a falsehood, and it's real right now. And again, when I go to Texas and when I am in Tennessee, when I'm out and about, when I see these brands, I go, wow, it's just pretty incredible to see what is on the shelf now that was so hard to find. And that's why with you guys, you have a relationship with retailers here in Northwest Arkansas, and I'm going to always preach that. This is the best time now with everything coming back on the shelf. Not everything, but a lot more than we've had up here. This is the time if you never want to talk to a manager at a store, this is when you go and build a relationship.
Well, a couple things that I saw recently. So Missouri, Buffalo Trace is no longer allocated. So you walk in there and there are
Whole end cap.
cases and cases at $26, $28.
Well, they have all different sizes.
Yes.
And there's like you said, a whole pallet.
But Macadoodles in Jane. So this was the interesting one.
This is the Jane store.
Yes. So they're carrying allocated stuff behind the counter now. E.H. Taylor, Single Barrel, E.H. Taylor, you name it. But if you spend $50, that unlocks access to purchase one at MSRP. And some of the people are complaining about that. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're not going to go buy 2 bottles of wine or something else to get access to those prices, well, I shouldn't have to buy it. I should be able to buy it on my own. Like, that stuff's never been available to begin with. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's the person that's going to get just a bitch.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind spending $50.
Yeah, you can't sell all your units.
I would not mind at all.
And nothing else.
Here's 2 bottles of
air. It's just business.
Here's 2 bottles of Tito's. Yeah, a bottle of wine for the wife.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
But that I've never seen that. I've never seen that before. Where the stuff's sitting back there, and if you spend $50, you can have access to these bottles.
Yeah, I got a lot B up.
I'll go to Jane in the next week. But we all like Colonel Taylor. We all
Josh should be up there every
morning. We all
morning.
love our friends from Buffalo Trace and Lisa, and they take care of us. And we all like Colonel Taylor. You know, we talked about Colonel Taylor Dazia for years. I'm in Dallas, and I walk into a fine wine store that has a nice allocated whiskey selection. I just picked up one bottle of Colonel Taylor for $65. And they had a stack. They probably had 60.
Small batch?
60, small batch. They had 5 cases on the floor.
Yeah.
And I go, one per customer? He goes, no, you can buy 6-pack if you want. You can buy 12. You can buy them all if you want. You know, so this is...
I think you could say that, not just with bourbon, but a lot of hobby type things.
Right now.
Right.
I just think, like you said, I think there's uncertainty, and I think everyone's kind of...
I mean, the stock market only hit a brand new high again today.
And gold.
We all understand all those economics.
Carrie better watch her drawer tonight. You go in there and grab all her gold out and sell it.
Gold in the last
But you know
2 years.
You know why this is happening.
Is gold at 3,800 now?
It's over that.
Here's the other switch.
And silver's at 47, I think.
You know what the other switch on this that we haven't talked about is because of our whiskey sales in Canada for bourbon right now are way off the charts because of the tariffs. And then a lot of container ships that were going to have bourbon and rye from the United States, of course, bourbon from the United States only, but from the United States that was heading to Europe, a lot of those containers never reached port because they would have had to pay the tariff and the duty. And so they flipped back here in the United States. And then with supply chain and logistics, it takes a couple months to go through the chain.
Interesting.
And so that's why we're getting more and more and more on the shelf right now from the Eagle Rares to the Colonel Taylors. That's why BT Mother Brand up in Jane Walmart or even throughout the state of Missouri is all wide open right now on the Buffalo Trace. I'm not saying Colonel Taylor, Eagle Rare, but just their mother brand of BT.
But going back to what we were talking about with tequila, so I was in Guess Who the other day, and I was asking Hart, shout out to Hart from Guess Who, I said, hey, do you ever get any Fortaleza in here? And he started laughing. But this would be the way that you were laughing like 3 years ago when it came to asking for E.H. Taylor. That's what he told me. He says, the whole state got 2.5 cases. I go, per variant? They go, no. 2.5 cases in total of all 3. I said, so 2 bottles of this, 3 of this? He goes, yes. And that's for the whole state. And I said,
for how long? What's the time frame?
He said, that's what they put out this time of the year on their run. And I was like, that seems like nothing. And he says, I haven't seen a bottle in forever. And he goes, 2 years ago.
Coming from Mexico, isn't it?
2 years ago, it used to be, on the shelf 60.
It's a lot box item. And I tell people all the time, Fortaleza is one of my favorite tequilas, not because it's a unicorn, because I believe in the brand. It's a Salsa family. The Fortaleza, that was the first tequila brought in the United States, and they call it mezcal. before they rebranded as tequila. But anyway, the family is high demand, low distillation, and I call it the Pappy Van Winkle of the tequila category.
Because you can't find
It's
it?
hard to find. It's a unicorn.
And it's only $90, and the resale is only like $110 or $120, $130.
Knows about $125 to $150. Hey, speaking of unicorns, you know what the national animal of Scotland is?
The unicorn.
If I'm lying, I'm dying. They voted on it years ago as a funny, and it passed. And so the unicorn is the national animal of my 51st state, Scotland.
I was at Ruth Chris last night or the night before, 2 nights ago.
Were they dog cussing?
How was the food?
For the
I didn't get invited.
you're all wine club members and haven't shown up to a wine club dinner, so you all could go F off.
How was the wine club dinner tonight?
It was really good. It's good. It was really good, and he was so impressed that I picked up notes of stone fruit
In the wine?
in the wine.
Good. And he said, "That's my boy Russ."
I said I've been taught by a professional.
Which I'm talking about that.
That was Camus.
Camus.
Oh, Camus.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was really good.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Must have been a good night.
yeah.
What'd you think of the
Would have been nice to go to that.
Yeah, all you had to do was call and book your reservation.
What'd you think of this? The
It's
horse.
very good, especially out of the coffee cup because of that whole new
Well, hold on.
experience.
Knows this out of that. Just knows it. That's cancer right there. When I knows that early, I go, that's really way off. Yeah.
I still can't get over you drinking out of the coffee cup. I still reminds me of your morning ritual. When
I mean, it might be a new trend.
Well,
we're
I
starting
mean,
here.
if I was in the business that you're in, see, you could be on a Zoom call and they just it's like you're having a little afternoon coffee.
that's smart.
We could have we may start a new trend for everyone.
We're trendsetters. The B Team podcast, drinking bourbon out of a coffee cup.
So the wine industry is facing the same challenges that the spirits industry is. We saw this years ago with craft beer, with too many microbreweries opening up, and the supply demand, the fittest, the survival of the fittest over time. A lot of consolidation, a lot of buyout, and unfortunately, a lot of microbreweries went out of business. We're seeing this in the wine industry right now. We're seeing this in spirits, and it's the ebbs and flows of a consumable good. When legal drinking age, 21 to end of life, a lot of people go through that ebbs and flows over time.
Yeah, and it's like you said, the younger generation,
They're not drinking.
They have gummies.
Well, remember we were at that Woo's shout out that
Yeah.
did that
Yep.
that evening dance party thing, and there's the old guys there, and we're drinking, and you look over, and they're all drinking water. I'm like, how is Barry making any money today? He's like, it was a $50 carpet charge. I'm like,
And
they're all drinking water.
Open bar, but he knows that the 90% of the people don't drink anymore.
So they had a huge jug of water, and there was like a line for the water, and we're like, can we just get another bourbon? Like we were the only ones drinking. It was weird, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because don't you get pretty thirsty after you take a gummy?
I don't know.
So here's a good test market. Then how are you at the Jets place? Is your average member coming in and drinking as much as they used to, and are the lot boxes full?
Yes, because most of my members are 40 and up, so it's this group that still likes to drink. We're not getting a lot. I had a guy today that I was chatting with. I was like, "Hey, can you carry some of that non-alcoholic beer? I don't drink anymore." So we carried that stuff for a period of time. We had a non-alcoholic bourbon for a period of time. It just collected dust. It doesn't taste very good, but I get asked that very, very few and infrequent. But the lockers today, shout out, Gary Head came in today, filled his locker up, and he says, "Mine's next to Rob. I want to see what Rob puts in his." My locker is
Here we
loaded
go.
up, and I go,
Russ, I'm gonna need some help, buddy.
and I go, "All right, Bobby, let's see," because he specifically put his locker next to yours.
I love it.
And said, "I want Bobby to see what."
right.
So he's locked.
We're sharing a locker there, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So help me stock it and You've got
I'll
a party.
be in Texas.
Matt
next
said
week.
he thought he was sharing a locker with you.
I thought you said Matt bought one.
Matt's in the Matt has a locker in the non-VIP.
Yeah, I'm in the non.
We're gonna FaceTime. We're gonna FaceTime Matt. Like
Matt's
Matt,
getting one. I know Matt's getting
I'm
one.
sharing a baby.
Are you going to be there Monday?
Yeah.
I'll be there Monday,
Yeah.
4 to 7. Or
Yeah,
3?
so-
I'll be there
3 to 7. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have.
We got some stuff we can put in there.
I'm headed back to Dallas to my storage unit on Tuesday, and afterwards when I get back.
So Gary's gonna be there Monday, and he's gonna be giving you shit for the
Matt, I might have to come and borrow a few good things from you.
borrow.
Hey, Rob is going to be tequila, scotch, and bourbon.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I need some heavy hitters just for show.
This is when you negotiate. Like, I'll get you a couple things if I could share a locker with you. This is
We share one at the other
Yeah, we
place.
share one at the other one. I might just take that free one over there. I can sit by myself.
Can you imagine we're sitting in the VIP and we're drinking and we're FaceTiming Matt and he's in the next room over. He's not allowed in with us.
Everyone in the VIP should have access to the camera. Is that Matt sitting out there by himself?
That's funny. So how hard is that rule going to be? Like, if you're not a VIP, but if I'm a VIP member, I still bring someone, right?
You can bring a guest whenever you want.
So like one or two.
One
Did you
guest.
see
What happens if there's two people with me?
Yeah.
You bring one
I
guest.
can't wait to see it on Monday.
And that's a
Hard rule.
hard.
So it'll be hard to have meetings there for people because they can't bring anyone.
Well, so no, then you can rent out the space. So if you wanted to have a meeting,
Is it rent out or book out for a VIP member?
VIP can book out the one half of the room 4 times a year at no charge.
Yeah, there you go.
So yes.
I feel like as much as we talked about that, they should maybe start supporting the show a little bit, the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much been a gents.
I mean, at some point, we'll dig out of the hole that we're in financially for this astronomically large space that we built. So
you want to hear a really cool Bourbon story?
please, thanks for bringing us back on track. I got sweat coming off the back of my head here.
I was in Virginia this week, and I with my Scottish client Monday doing a Scotch event for 150 people. I think 75 went through the tasting with their clients from the United States and their colleagues from Scotland. Well, on Saturday I was in Virginia Beach, and I did an event for ex-Navy SEALs, and ex-military, and ex-first responders.
That's kind of cool.
It's absolutely remarkable. And so I'm going to get a bottle of this. It's distilled at Bardstown, called 4 Branches. And it honors the 4 branches of the military.
Super cool.
And 4 branches of the military.
This is a new brand?
4 branches, yes, new brand.
Matt's got 6 cases.
I knew I was going to I knew it was going to be in the lineup because I had my tasting, I had the tasting map for everybody. And I get there, and then the host, Woody, who I'm doing the best for, it's a big Champion Ranch. You've heard me talk about Champion Ranch, this high fence, exotic hunting lodge in near West Texas. Well, I met him years ago. He's an ex-SEAL, and he has a membership there. And so he goes, hey, when you're in Virginia, let me know, and we'll set up an event. And so 4 branches. It's a 4 grain to honor the 4 military. It's cool. And distilled at Bardstown, Mr. Bardstown. And the owner, the Navy SEAL owner, the 4, he was there, and I presented his brand in front of him.
Did you get him to come to Gentsgiving?
It's too late for these guys, but because maybe next year would be great. They do a lot of give back, but it's
feels like you missed an opportunity.
I did this event for all these ex-SEALs and all these ex-military guys. I'm going, my God, what they have seen.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what, from a first responder to these ex-military, these ex-SEAL guys have seen. But it was pretty cool because I get there, I'm just going to do my thing. He goes, oh, Russ, by the way, the owner is here.
That's cool.
You got to present 4 branches in front of him.
That's awesome.
And it was a lot of fun.
You probably a lot of pressure in front of a SEAL, like they'll just take you out back and beat the shit out of you.
That was the biggest concern was, making it out alive.
Yeah, I bet.
I got the seal of approval, though.
I bet. All right, Russ, as we're wrapping up, I want to do fast 3 couple things for you. So if you are a collector that's holding stuff like Matthew, do you hold? Obviously, you're going to drink, but do you hold? Do you sell? if you're somebody that's looking
buy.
to or buy, yeah.
Right. Hold, sell, or buy.
Hold your allocated stuff that you have right now, because if you buy, you're selling the dip.
Yeah, you don't
You
want to sell.
don't want to sell
anything
right now. But then if you're that guy or lady that isn't collecting, this is the time to buy.
You buy. Okay.
This is the time to research.
I like real estate.
Mhm.
This is a good analogy, 100%.
Good
Yes.
job, Bobby.
Or stocks.
Yes.
Okay. If you are moving away from bourbon, it's tequila, rum. Is there anything else that's popping right
Rum
now?
is starting to excite me. There's more high-end allocated rum coming out. Here's an example. You can get some 25-year-old rum for $100 a bottle. But here's the problem about rum, and this is why you have buyer beware on rum, okay? So in the first world, our laws and regulations were very tight on all beverage alcohol. Here's an example. Guatemala, there's a brand called Ron Centenario, and you look on the back, and it says 30 años, 30 years. Oh, that's a 30-year-old rum. You look on the back label, it says aged up to 30 years.
Matt's got 3 cases of that one too.
Yeah. And so, but anyway, that said, I loved aged rum, and the majority of the aged rum that we see today is ex-American oak barrels that held bourbon, rye, Tennessee whiskey, etc. So aged rum, but back to tequila, I would just move into tequila, reposado, añejo, extra añejo. I'm a big proponent of additive free, and I try to drop the tequila I did for the Corbett's in December. You guys were
Shout out to Corey. She didn't make it through the night.
She tried.
She tried hard. A for effort.
She made it through all the tastes.
Remember, the majority of those were additive free.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a good value. But, the projection this year, and it did not come to realization, was the projection this year was tequila was going to outsell vodka in the United States for the first time.
Whoa.
That was the projection a year ago right now.
Wow.
That was the trend.
Did it happen?
But we're talking, no, because of what we're talking about with the down trade and the downturn.
You started a little bit late.
Gotcha.
Before you got
Yeah. But one thing I did say earlier is
up.
Tito's just bought Lalo.
Okay.
So Lalo, Don Julio's grandson from Mexico. So Lalo he only does Blanco. And I did buy some of the Lalo high proof the other day here. So that's hitting the marketplace here, the 100 proof. So Tito's bought that. So there's a lot of acquisition and a lot of buyouts right now going on too. But a vodka drinker trade into Blanco tequila, a gin drinker trade into Blanco tequila, the Scotch drinker's favorite tequila is a Reposado. A bourbon's favorite tequila is añejo or extra añejo.
So this is the time, because I had a bad experience on spring break in Cancun with tequila and didn't want to try it. This is the time to get back into tequila.
Yes. You've heard me talk about, the formal presentations is on that regard right there. When we taste whiskey or distilled spirits, it's your brain, it's your nose, it's the old palate. And if you didn't want to like that tequila because of that bad experience you had back in the day, that's your heart telling you that you're not going to like it. So you take that heart out of the equation.
I smell it and I gag sometimes.
Yeah, but that's but not being a bourbon guy like you are.
Yeah.
That's why you get into añejo or extra añejo.
Yeah. But even that rum, you had that XO rum.
Yep, that's good.
And it's good. It tastes kind of like bourbon a little bit. I think.
Is that the Mount Gay XO?
I don't know. It just says XO on it, but it was good.
Yeah.
Russ, plug your website.
Website is speakingofgrapesandgrains.com.
You have anything you're doing locally in the next couple months? Anything?
I'm doing the Gents Place event on Monday. Shout out to the Gents Place new opening at the Walmart campus. And then, of course,
VIP?
Golf clap. Yeah. To the VIP.
Non-VIP.
To the VIPs.
And then to you 3 fine gentlemen in the audience,
not gonna not
we have
get
Gents Giving coming up.
Gentsgiving, November 6th.
Yeah.
November 6th in Little Flock.
We got Todd's coming in from Colorado. We got people coming from around the country.
We had a lady.
Oh, that's right. Did you bring me my check?
Or no, but I have.
Perfect segue. Perfect segue. We have a lady that bought a table from Colorado that wants to sit with Davey. I haven't broken the news to him yet.
Oh,
I wouldn't tell him. I would just do it.
I would tell him on Monday.
Yeah.
I say, hey, I need a favor, and he'll be great to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Russ, let's clink with our wonderful glasses. Thanks, Bobby, for bringing the glasses today. Cheers.
Salute
Cheers.
to your health, gentlemen.